get back into this pool, and this is Acend's chance to get out of this pool into the top 2 and into that winner's bracket round 2.
And it looks like we're actually going to start right on board here with Tylenol, able to get the rockets right off the rip, the off-the-rack medal, getting that kill right off for stealing it from the rack. 2 down go Acend, and now Space Station starting off hot.
Yeah, something I've noticed about Acend is that their starting strategies have really let them down throughout this weekend. I know that they've been performing very well, they've been able to come back into games, but it just seems like they are very slow out of the blocks, and it really gives these massive North American teams a huge advantage.
And I promise you, give any team an inch, they're probably going to take a mile as they're seeing Space Station Gaming once again putting them 3 down while having that flag in hand. Tusk not even risking dropping at the moment, actually sprints it all the way across the 50% portion of the map, and that's going to be right through the double doors, which is kind of safe going in for SSG, but it looks like it might have been stopped just short. I'm seeing at the double doors right now.
Lighting, though, is in a position where he could try and be a nuisance from behind, but both Legend and Snipe Drone were there to stop that flag, get the return, and even though Space Station with a fantastic start, not enough to get that flag back, Tony, and how detrimental is that going to be? Because Acend now getting back into the map, getting some control here, and it's always scary when Acend start to wolf pack together.
It's one of the worst things mentally to be that close and not get the capture, but luckily these are professional players, been there, done that players. Meanwhile, Acend are ascending right now. They already have the flag over toward the 50% portion here. There are Slays going down. I think Sniper going to be the first player to go down. Sicker's trying to watch the overextenders, but he's going to be forced to back down and play his life.
Love this though from Shady. Drops the flag, gets a double kill. Flag still alive, but flag just about returns there. Overshield popping in 15, but Acend trying to go toe-to-toe with Space Station, saying that, hey, you know, we're here to play. We are an EU team with a #1 seeded EU team, and we want to come out top 2 here in pools.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Space Station Gaming. You know, they've obviously had some roster changes here, bringing Tusk back on. Mind you, Tusk was actually on this roster originally. Obviously, things moved around for Formal. Now he's back on it, and he's looking pretty good. He's 4-3 right now. Has even chalked up 2 assists, and mind you, deciding also 5 kills, 3 assists to start the game.
Yeah, even though we think it would be an upset if Acend were to beat Space Station, if we look at it seed-wise, Space Station actually are the lowest seed in this pool, just because of the way they got into it, the fact that they made those changes, because they lost Formal. So I am impressed that, you know, even with those late changes, with the little practice Space Station have been able to achieve, they still are putting up decent games. I know they would have been disappointed with their loss against Acend earlier, but maybe they can make up for it here against Acend.
And obviously, you're very well aware of Acend, obviously formerly Cartel, but a lot of the people at home, especially in the North American region, maybe didn't get the chance to watch how they ascended through the ranks, how they actually got to where they were. I mean, we're talking about a squad that's undefeated. I think their exact map record is 51-8 when it comes to maps, which is incredible as they were 23-0. This team is absolutely out of control. And mind you, again, like you said, Space Station Game might be better on paper to a lot of North American teams, but to be honest with you, if you're really looking, I think Acend are the ones on paper. I think they're the ones better on paper, to be honest with you.
I think Acend would have been very disappointed if they had come into this tournament and lost to Acend, and if they lose to Space Station, because realistically, with how well they have been performing in the EU region, they should be able to compete for a top 8, if not a top 6 spot overall. I'm not talking just kind of top 8 in Europe, top 1 in Europe. I'm talking top 8 in North America here at this event. They have the chance to do so. When you look at the likes of Space Station, the likes of Acend, they are top 6, top 8 teams. So really impressed with how Acend are playing, but it's still 0-0 right now.
And mind you, Slays are actually heavily going in favor of Space Station Gaming. That's actually 3 down going Acend. So as much as we're hyping up right now, they're actually losing the Slays battle. Space Station playing very good defense, but the question is, now can they convert that into offense?
Oh, Overshield is about to pop, deciding in a position where he can be a real nuisance, and at the same time, Tylenol tries to dive in, but it's not going to be enough. But the Slays coming in from Acend just need to ensure this one's not stolen away from them. Tusk, the last real challenge. Has anyone managed to pop it though, Tony?
Oh, Mangler in the hands of the sighting right now. I'm not sure exactly what happened to that overshield, but this is a very good utility for those close range engagements, that one-shot melee potential. It can absolutely do damage, and he's getting right behind enemy lines right there. There we go, one shot to the dome. Hit, beautiful melee, taking down Legend. Now that second player's gonna go down as well, so 2 down. Once again, going Acend. Space Station having all the numbers here. Can he get the second one? Sadly, he's not able to do that.
Space Station look very comfortable here on Bazaar, it has to be said, and I think Acend look somewhat uncomfortable. As I think something that's worried me for a lot of teams, and I'm not really surprised because we're in the early stages of Halo Infinite, is the fact that the objective work is not quite there for a lot of these teams now. The slaying is amazing, but then it's getting into a position to run these flags or hold the strongholds or hold the ball in certain areas, and that will come with time as people start to play this game a little more. but certainly Space Station with the slays they've been able to achieve here, maybe should have had one flag on the board, at least should have got a couple of flags on the go.
It's funny, specifically, I know you mentioned objective. Specifically, it's actually captured a flag, in my opinion. I feel like in Stronghold, every team is very comfortable with out-rotating the enemy team. On Oddball, everybody kind of has their exact setup they want to do, but for some reason, capture the flag has seemed to have been kind of the toughest game type that I'm noticing for all these teams, not even just one or two of them. Literally all of them having a really tough time getting full map control as the Slays are once again coming in. Tylenol putting his 12th kill on the board, and that flag is once again on the move and past the double doors.
Yeah, Tylenol in a really good position just to nade any spawners from Acend. So finally we get our first flag, and finally Space Station are rewarded for the amount of slays they've been able to put on the board here against Acend. And for Acend, they've still got plenty of time to get back into this one. They just need to learn a lesson here, I think. They can't aimlessly charge towards Space Station. They need a little bit more control on this map.
And mind you, I mean, they do have the time, but I mean, granted, it took 6 minutes for the first flag cap to come on the board here. There's a little less than 6 minutes on the clock, so we're going to really need to have Acend really kind of step up. And the best thing about it is that we know what their potential is. At this point, we're just waiting for them to reach it.
Nice kill with the rocket, but Tusk is there to answer back, and I think that's what Space Station have done very well, is they've traded off their kills. There's always been someone waiting in the wings to finish off that one shot, and Acend usually a team that kind of wolf packs together. They run in pairs, run in groups. Space Station have actually outdone them and outshone them in that area. So Acend, they need to reply, they need to get back on track, and they can't allow Space Station to have too much control.
And sometimes just as simple as not winning your individual gunfights. As of right now, Space Station Gaming are heavily slaying out Acend, and even the eyeball test, every time it's individual gunfight, it's usually going in favor of the boys in blue. Acend, we know how good they are. We know that they can bait and switch. We know that they can ultimately win those pairs. Now we got to see it in action as Sika going to the old reliable, the assault rifle, one of my favorite weapons. Sadly, even that wasn't enough for him to get that kill.
Nice trade out. Legend will come in to clean things up, and actually Acend have managed to make it 3 dead, dislighting the last remaining player. That's all 4 down. Tusk off the spawn is going to be the focus point, but it looks like he spawned flags. This is going to be an awkward one for Shady. Probably needs to just wait and bait at this point. Doesn't want to push in aimlessly. And
that's exactly what he's doing as Tusk now going in for the challenge on Sika. That's going to be a big kill. Whipping out the assault rifle, now going in for the double, and a beautiful double kill coming out of Tusk. That's his 14th kill on the board. And now Acend Khalid's probably got a flagpole, but he's ends up stopped short once again.
At least they went back for Shady. I'm glad that Space Station were aware Shady was in the perimeter, and he could have been a real nuisance there with the Bulldog, but it might have been a trade that was the only way to get him out of their base, but at least they did get him out of their base. And of course, Space Station could play defensive now. They have the flag cap. Sometimes on this map, you do see 1-0s happen, 2-1s. It can be very closely contested. And if Space Station can just keep Acend out of their base, I mean, maybe, who knows, it could be a 1-0. But Legend trying to move a flag here.
Easier said than done. We know how aggressive Acend is, and they are always going to be in your face and putting you on your back foot. You're seeing that right here, right now. Despite even losing the Slays battle, they are still on the aggression. As Ace going to be able to take down Legend Snipe Drone, trying to get an angle on the map. There's players funneling over toward the bottom rocket side here for Acend. It looks like they're going once again for a little bit of a flame.
There was an overshield for Snipe Drone. It's depleted now. And Acend not really able to capitalize from the overshield, apart from just holding mid-map here, keeping some control. Notice how Snipe Drone is scouting a couple of areas, but he is alone, needs a little bit of support, takes the fight, and at least there is the cleanup. Shady was actually coming from behind there and ensuring that anything was going to be taken down.
And a third player is going to go down for Acend, leaving Legend by himself momentarily. Luckily, Snipe Drone coming right off a spawn, and all 4 players for SSG are up. Legend actually taking the challenge on 2 different players, almost able to take one with them. Sadly, he's going to go down alone.
Bit of rocket control, the perfect time for it as well with the rockets coming up, but Snipe Drone not jumping onto them, and that's the reason why knew there was someone waiting around the corner. And actually it'll be both traded out, so rockets still there waiting to be picked up, but no one desperately diving onto them. As I say, that Tylenol will get them, so Space Station, they have a significant advantage here controlling the rockets with only a few minutes left.
Great kill by Ace to take down Shady, but meanwhile Sika actually cross-mapping, able to put down most of the damage while Legend comes in for the cleanup kill. Sika now going to try to stay alive. Mind you, the Bulldog is up. That, I mean, there's any chance for them to come back. It's going to be behind this close quarter specialist. The Bulldog can put in work, as you're seeing right now, making Tylenol one shot immediately, but Tylenol coming back in for the challenge, actually gets a double kill. Wow.
Brilliant board to get that double in. Okay, they've wasted the rockets, but I think it was good they've managed to keep Acend at bay here. Only 2 minutes remaining, so we need to see Acend group up, band together, get a push on the go. Maybe just try and coordinate some sort of flank, send 3 players through tree, maybe 1 player through double doors, try and collapse on the other team. But Overshield's going to be the focus for now. Legend at least getting some slays in, and someone was able to pop that into the chest, but I can't quite tell who it was. I would assume it was someone from Acend, considering the map control they have right now, but certainly Snipe Drone seems a little bit wary. He's not really sure where to push, just holding this hut area.
And with a little bit less than 2 minutes on the clock, time will definitely be a factor in this one. It's still only a 1-0 lead right now as Shady gets a big kill on Tylenol. Now he's going to try to convert that into some offense, going in for the cleanup kill on Ace. That's actually going to be 2 down for each of these teams, and the flag is already out, but they need another round of slays. That's not going to be enough.
Shady not quite running the flag just yet, waiting for his shields, knows there's someone in bar, will take the fight with Tusk, does get the kill, and if he can actually take down Tylenol, maybe it could be a triple here, but Deciding is quick to stop this flag run. That was such an important kill.
And let me tell you, the slaying battle between Shady and Deciding is really exciting to watch. They're both just really going at it. We have 21 and 16 coming out of Deciding with also 13 assists. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Shady, 20 kills, 9 assists. Tusk trying to stay alive with the Bulldog, not able to do so. It's another double kill coming out of Legend.
Yeah, 2 kills for Acend, and it's going to be 2 down for a Space Station, of course, 2 still up. And that flag is a move-in. Shady is waiting in bottom middle as well. Legend running this one with 40 seconds left. Space Station, they need to be hot on the heels here.
Tylenol gets the kill, ends up stopping Legend short, but this is still a live flag here. If they can get the slays, maybe they can put this flag cap in and send this into a sudden death, or maybe even an overtime on board with Snipe Drone. Now he's going to go in for the challenge on Tusk. Excellent shots on Ace, but he's going to be taken down, and so do all 4 players for Team Acend.
All 4 members of Acend go down, but Space Station were in a situation where they had cleared it, and you'd imagine off.
But if you can combine having camouflage in the player in one player's hands and having either the shock rifle or the sword in that same player's, or at least the same team's hands, it can be absolutely devastating for the opposing team. But it starts with camo.
Expect to see Snipe Drone grabbing that shock rifle at any moment. I think we heard it best on the Alpha stream earlier. Someone said, you know, if Snipe Drone keeps doing these things with a shock rifle, we might have to start calling him Shock Drone, because he is a terrifying human being when he gets that weapon. He's already managed to maneuver his way around to the yellow side of the map, so maybe we'll see something a little bit like that later as Shady will go down. But in the early trades, it is going to be a 4-3 advantage for Space Station.
Now we're on board here with Tusk once again, going in for the challenge immediately on Legend. It looks like he's not going to be able to win that gunfight. So I said you want to try to get in Legend's head. You want to try to get loud, but you got to win the gunfights first.
Gotta take him down. Can't allow Legend to go off, because if Legend does start to pop off, if he's heating up, I tell you what, it is scary, and something that Acend can do on this map. If it is not slowed down, they will move as a unit, they will collapse on you, and they will make it very difficult for you to push out as individuals. Deciding walks around the corner and walks straight into Legend. It is a trade at the very least, but you've got to be checking your P's and Q's. You've got to be making sure there's not someone lurking around the corner.
Shady throwing some excellent denial nades, also feeding that information to his team. He actually spotted at least 3 players on the map. Meanwhile, off the screen, Ace is able to take down Sick, and now Shady going in for the challenge on Tylenol, who's going to put him down. Legend now going to come in for the cleanup, but Deciding going to win that individual gunfight. 3 down, go Acend, leaving Sika by himself.
That means there's going to be slight map control here for Space Station. They are going to try and control this yellow area. They know that the attic spawns in the attic area is going to be where Acend certainly were residing, but they've backed away a little bit to long haul here. And sometimes you've got to be careful pushing down long haul, because there are going to be people waiting around corners, being little sneaky beavers behind boxes. So I like that Space Station recognize that. Instead, they reposition and say, hey, we'll take the fight at elevator. We'll get nades into control room here, and we'll wait for this camo to pop.
That's exactly what they're doing right now. Tylenol doing a great job of putting down damage, but also staying alive, trying to take as little damage as possible as he comes in. Great for the cleanup kill. Sika actually going to be trading off kills. Shady able to take down Ace off the screen, and now we're on board with Shady himself, who also has a sword in the back pocket.
Managed to get a cheeky sword on the go. I don't know where camo ended up in the end. Certainly there was a little scrap bottom middle. Sightings picked up a shock rifle here, which certainly could turn the tides in favor of Space Station. At the moment, it's a 14-13 lead, but here comes the push. But the push is not going to be enough, as the trades actually go in favor of Space Station.
That they do, once again, leaving Shady by himself, but luckily, I'm sorry, I thought Shady had a shock rifle, excuse me. Tusk is the one with the shock rifle in hands.
Shady on the other side has the sword, however, so it's kind of Tusk staying alive on one side with the shock rifle, Shady on the other side with the sword. but it's still Space Station leading by 1, and both teams reluctant to push out, and for good reason, because if you get aggressive, you push into a stall. If you're Space Station, if you're Acend, if you poke your head, you get a shock rifle to the face.
It was just a 2v2 scenario right there, but it looks like Sick and Legend coming in out of nowhere, but a beautiful double kill coming out of Ace. And that's exactly what Space Station need. Now he's going in for the third one, but Legend going to take him down. We have a 19-18 lead going in favor of Team Acend.
Space Station doing their job at just making sure they're trading out these kills effectively. As I say that though, Shady does get one, but they're still behind here. Although if you remember what happened a little bit earlier when they went up against Exet, it didn't matter how far Acend were behind, they still found their way back into the game, and I'm sure Space Station will be aware of that.
We're now approaching the midway point in this game. It's still only a 2-kill game. Obviously, Acend within striking distance, and anything can happen here. Legend doing a great job of getting the one-shot melee, but looks like they're going to trade off kills here with Ace. Now we're going to switch on board now with Tylenol, who has their repulsor in hand, and meanwhile, Camouflage is coming. This is a very important part of this game.
Like Tylenol had a little look towards Sword and considered it for a second. It's going to be spawning soon, but I think Camouflage, his initial focus, Snipe Drone getting caught just jumping out a little bit aimlessly there. Maybe he wanted to look towards trying to get eyes on that camo as well. But if Space Station can get hold of the Camouflage with a 2-kill, make that a 3-kill lead, then perhaps they can start to make a significant gap from Acend.
Ooh, Tylenol not able to get the trade-off kill. Legend really going off. That's actually Legend's 7th kill on the board. Switching back over to Ace right now, who's currently 10-6. He's going to grab himself that shock rifle in hands, and let's see what he can do with it.
Grapple just allowing Tusk to, Elam, Ace to manage to push in and get aggressive, but will actually choose to drop that weapon instead. He's going to get aggressive, and for good reason. Passed it off to Tylenol, and instantly Tylenol gets the headshot onto Shady. And it now means that Space Station have a little bit more freedom to push up and try and get aggressive and collapse on Acend here.
Switching back over towards Shady right now, staying alive over towards the control center, and mind you, Sword is up, so it looks like Shady wants to get his hands on it, but mind you, has actually Ace and Deciding right in front of him. Luckily, Legend coming in for the cleanup kill, able to take down Deciding, but it looks like he was able to stay alive. Ace comes out after Legend, Tylenol gets a big kill, and once again, we're only separated by 4 kills.
Yeah, it's so close now. A 5-kill game, but it's definitely a chance for Acend to get back into this one. You cannot count them out, but Space Station will be feeling pretty good. At the moment, Tusk, 3 kills, 8 deaths. And even though, 3 kills, it's not that much, but at least he's getting some assists on the board, and it's probably because Tylenol has been getting all the kills to himself. 13 kills for Tylenol right now. And Acend, being 5 kills down, everything's started to slow. Recharge gets a little bit quieter here at this point. I think for Acend, they just need to try and get a little bit more map control, maybe grab hold of that shock rifle and get a setup. With 10 seconds until Camouflage comes up, that's why they're waiting. They want to try and pounce, they want to try and grab this camo to maybe make a difference.
Tylenol being real greedy with the kills right now, hogging them all to himself. 13 kills, more kills than anybody else on the lobby here. 34-29, going in favor of Space Station Gaming. Meanwhile, Deciding now going in for a weak side flank. Yes, Tusk right with them. Tylenol challenging Legend off the screen. Legend to hop on board now with Tylenol, who was able to get away with the shock rifle.
Shady caught in no man's land, but just able to get away. But as I say that, Tusk and Deciding are there as the cleanup crew. Legends come from behind to take down Ace, but Legend manages to make a double, only to fall ever so slightly afterwards. It's a 6-kill game now. Space Station still have the lead, and the closer and closer we get to 40 kills, the more concerned I am for Acend in this game. Space Station now, if they can continue their aggression, if they can keep Acend on this spawn cycle, there's a real chance they can go 2-up in this series.
And hang on now, Tusk able to get away with that camouflage, and not only that, but he also has the sword, and the information is coming in. The spawners are coming towards the seaside map. He actually challenges the first player in Shady, almost gets cleaned up, but Deciding comes and gets a double kill. Another 3 down go Acend, and Space Station Gaming are making a run.
Triple kill for Deciding, starting to pop off now, our Space Station, and suddenly that close 4-5 kill game has become a 12-kill lead, and they are 4 kills off from going 2-up in the series. It looks like Acend might not have what it takes to get back into this one.
And this is crazy. I mean, like you said before, Acend were able to take down Exit, but what Exit was able to beat Space Station, so I don't know if this is a matchup problem. I'm not sure what's going on here, but Space Station Gaming are on another level. 49 kill on the board, and now it's not a question of who's going to win, but a matter of when is it going to happen.
Looks like Space Station have had a wake-up call here in HCS Raleigh after losing in our first series of the day, which feels quite long ago now, against Exet. They have a significant lead, 49-39 against Acend. Just one more kill is what they require. And Ace, a little bit of a sneaky beaver, comes across Shady and comes across Legend. Does try and repulsor him away. Does he get him off the map? No, he doesn't. 49-40. Still not over just yet, but very, very close.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, Acend making it very hard for SSG right now, almost making me a believer that maybe the comeback is possible. Tusk doing a great job of simply staying alive. Meanwhile, Sniper went all the way down to one shot, and it looks like that's going to be it. Tusk putting in a great kill right there to actually finish off and finally put the nail on the coffin. But we got to talk about the original SSG boys. We're talking about Tylenol, and we're talking on.
Oddball is a little bit different. It's round-based now rather than just a straight scoreline, a straight time limit. It's best of 3. It's first of 2 rounds.
And you know what? I really like the settings. I really do. Sometimes, you know, say for example, like Guardian Ball back in the day in Halo 3, you know, a team can go grab that setup and go on such a big run, 180. Oh my gosh, the no-scope right to the dome. Shady absolutely going off and now defending the power, but he ends up going down to one shot. Assist, he gets the assist, but yeah, back in like, you know, Guardian Oddball, you know, you can see a team go on a crazy run, like 180-0, and it's such a devastating, I guess, lead that you're not even to come back from it. In this, you can get 100-0, but it gets reset. So I think every team has a chance to win best 2 out of 3 in Oddball.
And just to add on to that, I mean, sometimes, you know, it could be anticlimactic. If the last game was decided on Oddball and it was just mathematically impossible, we never get that now, right? It's never going to be mathematically impossible with the way that these round system works and with the fact that if you are holding the ball, the clock stops. As you can see right now, ball is being held. It is stopped at 4:28, so you are always going to get an exciting resolution, which as a Halo fan, that makes me extremely happy. It's not over until it's over. Right now, though, Acend, 30 points to 9. They've started pretty hot. They've started actually really hot.
They did it, so they just went 3 down. Space Station Gaming, someone must have told them the game started, put them 3 down immediately. Now they have their setup locked in. It's not a seaside setup, but still, it's always about your ability to adapt. So even if you don't get your ultimate setup, you have to have a plan B, a plan C, and dag-nab in this tournament, a plan D and E at this point. On board now with Ace, who's just holding down this B side of the map, waiting for anybody to overextend on Nest. Meanwhile, his teammates are watching top, mid, and dummy side. Tusk can actually start off with a big kill on Shady. That's going to be the initial kill they need. Now we have another Slay coming in. Tylenol taking down Sicka, but luckily Legend neutralizing the situation by at least getting 1 kill on Ace.
Kind of jealous you used the word dag-nabbit in a cast. I don't think I've ever done that, and I'm very impressed, and it just was flawless. I couldn't do it as an Englishman. Credit to you, hats off to you, very impressed. But now we see a killing spree is quickly shut down. Snipe Drone in a position to maybe contest with this ball a little bit. But after the initial points that were put on the board by Acend, Space Station did respond. But look, 3 dead for Space Station. All is still now going to be in the hands of Acend. But it's not that perfect setup. It's not that tower setup you were talking about. Instead, it's a scrappy game over towards Garage.
You know, I guess what defines a perfect setup is your ability to hold it and ultimately get the slays within it. So, you know what, if you can hold a perfect Ace setup and get 2 or 3 rounds of slays, hey, maybe that's the perfect setup. As Sicka now going right at Tusk. That's actually going to be a big kill. Meanwhile, Tylenol able to take down Shady, so Sicka bringing out the big guns. I'm talking about the heat wave.
Yeah, I mean, what is perfection at the end of the day? Hey, Tony? I mean, it's all a definition at the end of the day, and I'm sure when Acend are setting up and they're getting the kills, they'll probably say, hey, look, we'll be close to perfect. We can get the job done. We can put some points on the board. But there's 4 dead for Acend, so Space Station managed to shut them down. They managed to break that setup, and now they can get a little bit of time themselves.
And you know, we're actually seeing multiple setups being broken on both sides, so both of these teams really fighting for that full map control, and no team really able to get it. We're going back and forward here as it's 54-35, going in favor of Team Acend. Meanwhile, deciding, putting down those shots, trying to stay alive here. Ace able to get the big kill on Legend, and in the 4v4 scenario, I always say, you cannot be the first player to go down. Once you're that first player to go down, you're putting your team at a huge disadvantage.
Sniper picked up by Tusk, all still in control of Space Station as well. Acend down to 3, but Seeker may be in a position to do some damage, but has to be careful. Great bait and switch, though, from Space Station. And they're in a really interesting setup right now, because they're holding the ball towards green, but Tusk is overlooking everything with the sniper rifle towards tower, and Legend just runs straight past him, unaware of Tusk's location, and this is just going to add to more ball time for SSG.
And the ball currently in the hands of Ace right now. And I'm loving this position coming out of Tusk, just holding things down, waiting for somebody to come right up towards top tower. Easy back smack, but while he's going after that, the power-up ends up being picked off, the one that he was baiting and should have had an easy headshot on.
He wave in the hand at back tower, 71-54. And Acend, they're responding very well to every time Space Station get some sort of setup, and I think both teams at the moment have a good idea of how they want to break a setup. The sticky nade will just end up in a trade, but here comes the Acend train. Both players flying towards Tusk, but Tusk with a sniper rifle is popping off elsewhere, picks up a double, while Snipe Drone down bottom middle is trying to do work with the Mangler, but will be shut down.
And if you were questioning whether Tusk was a good pickup for this team, I mean, the man is 12-5 right now, the only player on the map to have double-digit kills. Meanwhile, Ace really playing the ball player very well, holding things down here. We have an 84-54 lead going in favor of Space Station Gaming off screen, deciding able to take out Shady, and also having the Mangle in hands, getting right behind enemy lines. That's a beautiful assist, and Slays are still going in favor of SSG.
97 ticking over, but the ball is going to be reset. So Acend still in this round at the moment, but it's just a case of a couple more points here for Space Station, and they will achieve them. Round one going towards Space Station Gaming. They're one round away from winning this series 3-0, which would make Pool D very difficult to try and assess. Space Station, who lost to Acend, they lost to Cloud9, but potentially beat Acend. Acend, who beat Acend, yet to play Cloud9, and of course Acend, who beat Space Station but lost to Acend. We're going to potentially have 3 teams tied on 1 victory, Cloud9 maybe at the top of that. It's all going to come down to map, so a 3-0 here for Space Station would be huge.
Yeah, bring out the calculators for this one, because I can't figure it out, I promise you that. And you know, it's funny because everybody knows I'm actually good friends with Tyler, and I'm a big fan of him. However, I feel like ever since I was casting the EU side of the HCS series, or the qualifiers, I feel like I'm an honorary member of EU. I'm rooting for Acend. I want them to come back, but they are 1 round away from getting 3-0.
We will welcome you into Europe with open arms. Don't worry, Tony. We'll take whatever we can get at this point, because we need something. Acend really struggling, but of course they can get back into things. They have a 13-0 lead at the moment. Space Station down a couple of players, have got a few on spawn, and Ace has got a lot of responsibility here, trying to at least get a pinch with Tusk on the go.
Yeah, him and Tusk can work a little 1-2 combo as they're now going to make their way over towards the garage side of the map. He's going to trade this out for a Commando. Excellent shots coming in out of him. Tusk able to take down Legend, deciding getting the beautiful nade off. That's going to be 2 down, going in for the 3rd player, and deciding able to get the double kill, and that's going to be some good ball time going towards the boys in blue.
It's going to mean now a send-off spawn. Have to wait a little bit, wait for Shady to spawn. He's still not up. Now he's going to be up, and now this is where the push will commence. How are you going to do it, though, if you are Acend? Are they going to try and rotate through green, do something similar to what Space Station did, and push through that lower garage door? It looks like at the moment, it's just a top-middle push. Grenades flying from left, right, and center.
And that's one thing that Acend are so good at doing. They're good at sending players in multiple directions and creating that collapse, creating that pinch. It simply must come from their Tuesdays, honestly. And that's why they're so aggressive. They can break setups so well. And you're seeing that right here, right now, as Shady once again getting another big kill. Snipe Drone now going to chase down Ace and ends up getting the kill. Another 3 down goes Space Station Gaming. Do not count Acend out just yet.
Tylenol does have the overshield, but it looks like a little bit of that was melted, and actually the whole overshield is gone now. But all the meanwhile, Acend have managed to just sneak away with the ball here, and they're picking up a little bit of time. Scrappy time is so important in Oddball on Halo Infinite. You really have to scavenge that time. Try and pick it up where other teams wouldn't necessarily expect it, because those couple of seconds you're able to put on the board can really make a difference at the end of a game.
Legend and Sika once again getting back-to-back kills. Tylen on Ace going to hit the black screen here. Snipe Drone doing an excellent job of staying alive, and he even has the Mangler as well. Sika now going to take down the sighting right off the screen. Snipe Drone putting down the damage, and again backing down, but Tylen on now going to come in for the cleanup. Multiple players going down for Acend. Can Space Station Gaming break this setup?
Shady was the last remaining player then, and he's still putting time on the board. Very impressed with how Acend are working the objective, something that maybe Space Station will be a little bit frustrated by as they still find themselves around 30 points down. But it didn't matter in the previous round. They were able to come back. They were able to put points on the board when they got a successful setup, as now we're going to have a little skirmish for the sniper rifle.
And that sniper rifle might be the deciding factor of this game. It can obviously be used by our boys in red to actually create some separation in the scoreboard, or maybe, just maybe, Space Station Gaming can use it to come back in this round here and steal it away. Tylenol able to get a double kill, taking down both Snipe Drone and Shady, leaving Sika and Legend by themselves. Beautiful quick still coming in from Sika, going in for the second one, but not able to get the kill. Either way, the damage has been done. Multiple players going down for SSG.
Sniper rifle being passed around at the moment, but no one able to really get hold of it. Maybe Tusk can do a little bit of work, does have the heat wave as well, but it looks like Snipe Drone at least can do enough damage to allow him to scamper away and give his team time to push through to bottom middle, grab this ball again as the focus now shifts to the overshield.
Overshield gonna be up in just a few seconds here. Ace well aware of it, trying to stay alive. Actually going right up to full shields, right in time to grab his overshield and maybe make something happen. The Seaside setter is actually going to be broken, and that ball is going to be played. Meanwhile, Tusk just gonna stay over toward the tower side with the sniper and wait for the cavalry to come in.
Well, Space Station did get the overshield, but Acend got another 10 seconds with the ball. But at least now Space Station recognizing this is an objective game, they do need to get ball time, and they do eventually push down and grab that ball. And if this is a tower setup for Space Station, that's when I start to worry a little bit for Acend. This is when teams like Space Station and the top North American teams, they thrive when they get that, you know, quote-unquote perfect setup. Yeah. This is going to be difficult for Acend to break.
Yeah, these are when the seconds really start to turn to minutes here. And this is where you put the large boat. When you have this setup locked in and you get 1 or 2 rounds of slays, but hold on, Legend able to go right at Ace, actually able to get the double kill before getting cleaned up, and that's going to be a broken setup. That ball's going to be forced off of the map. Meanwhile, Acend are still 3 players up.
Very impressive push from Acend. Fantastic kind of slide in, gets the double, and even with the back whack, it wasn't enough. And okay, credit to SSG. They got the play ball. They didn't allow Acend to get into a proper setup, but Acend hot on their heels, getting that ball back to tower very quickly. Space Station find themselves with Tusk down. Snipe Drone will fall. And now look at this sneaky place from Shady. But the ball doesn't play. Oh, no. It does play. Oh, I was scared for a second.
No, that was calculated. That was he was riding that railing, waiting for him to die, so he got off the map. But whew, don't scare me like that, Dan. I'm not ready for this. 71-41, going in favor of Team Acend, and you have to respect the mental fortitude. I mean, they're obviously down 0-2 in the series. They're 1 round away from being out in this full play and then creating some kind of craziness that we definitely need numerous calculators to try to figure out. But they're still fighting back. They're still making this as tough as possible. Snipe Drone is still getting double kills and still putting in the work.
If I'm the coach of Acend, which is Gambit, by the way, shout out Gambit coming over, did play in the Open but didn't quite manage to achieve a position here in Raleigh, I'd be saying, guys, this is playing for your chance to be in Winners Bracket Round 2. Win this series. It's as simple as that. We don't have to get the calculators out. You will be at least 2nd place in this group. But right now, it's Space Station still on top overall. But in this particular round, Acend are only 20 points away from tying up this ball game.
That ball is now going to rotate over toward the bottom A side of the map. You notice that deciding immediately dropping that ball over towards his teammates because he has that power up and he has that sniper. He wants to put it to work, but the nades are coming in. If they're making him weak, goes in for the body shot on Sniper. That's going to be an excellent shot coming out of deciding, but not able to get the cleanup here. Meanwhile, off the screen, Sika takes down Tylenol. Shady's going to go after Elam, and that's going to be 3 down. Once it make that 4 down, a full squad wipe going in favor of SSG.
So this is going to give 1 push for SSG off the spawn here to break this setup. It's going to be ticking up to 90. They need to get the nades in. Deciding is going to be pushing from dummies and maybe has the chance to get some nades in. Has to win this battle. Ace is going to be there. Ball is dropped, so Space Station have done the job. They've been able to get the kill and they've been able to stop this initial setup, but 40 seconds remaining means that it's still a position where Space Station have to win this fight. Legend gets the trade, and that could be a huge trade in the grand scheme of things.
Looking for SSG when the ball's in hands, the timer stops. Sadly for SSG, it looks like Acend are able to come in and steal that round away. Now we're tied up at 1 apiece. We're going into a best of 3. Next round is going to win. Can Acend do it?
This is huge for Acend. I mean, even if Acend can't win this series, just taking some maps against Space Station will be massive for their chances of finishing 2nd in this group. 3 members of Acend down bottom middle at the moment. They really wanted to prioritize that heat wave, and they've been able to pick up the sniper rifle. So a lot of goodies in the hands of the French plus Snipe Drone roster. You have to say it. I have to say it every time, because they are a French roster, but then they're Snipe Drone. Honorary French member.
That's all right. We'll accept them. I mean, he eats French toast. That's good enough,
counts.
right?
Yeah,
whatever. That's fine. So. Yeah, I'm good. 3 down. Go Team Acend. Sending them back to France right now because Space Station Gaming trying to come in and end this series. Tylenol going to go right in at Snipe Drone. Another 3 down. Go to Boys in Red. Acend started off so hot in that round number 2. What happened?
Space Station saying, all right, we give you a round, we give you a little bit of a ticket back into this game, but let's maybe try and knock some of that wind out of you. Sika straight away assisting his teammate though. Shady also taking down Tylenol on the kill feed, so Space Station down to 2, And now this is where Acend are going to make their move as they very much collapse onto the space station roster and have managed to gain ball control here. But again, it's just going to be ball control in garage. I don't think we've seen Acend get that set up towards tower once yet. It's only been space station with proper control.
Yeah, you got to make use of what you get. And if the spawn's ultimate coming towards the C side of the map, they have to rotate that ball over towards A. And again, it's not perfect, but sadly they have to adjust. Meanwhile, Sika able to get the big kill on Ace, but Tylenol answering right back, coming in with the cleanup kill. And that ball is now trying to rotate over towards the B side. If they get pressured, they'll be able to play it.
Tylenol came into this game with 132 kills, 117 deaths across this tournament so far with a 1.13 KD ratio. He really has been turning up as one of the kind of main slayers on this team, which is something we were questioning. Can you achieve this? Can you manage to push up and actually take over that role that Formal filled so well on this space station roster? But it looks like Tylenol says, you know what? Maybe this is my chance to shine. Screw Formal. We don't need him. I'll do it instead.
The young man coming out of Pennsylvania started to make a name for himself. He's not a household name just yet. If you're watching Halo 3 streams, you might be aware of Tylenol, but a lot of people are not aware of him just yet. You should be now. He plays on a super high sensitivity. He's an aggressive player, and let me tell you, he's fun as hell to watch.
He really is. And this space station roster, you know, I'm seeing glimpses of greatness. I really think this team, with some more practice, pushing themselves in, we're going to be looking at a roster that can consistently hit top 6 in North America if they do stick together and if they can get some consistent practice. But at the moment, they've still got to get past Acend, who are making this very difficult in round 3 of this oddball game of map number 3. And it's with this, constantly Acend are on the ball, they're on the objective, they're not letting Space Station get any time because the scrappy time goes to Acend every single time.
And finally, Acend were able to put a double-digit lead on the board here. Slaves are starting to come in. Snipe Drone, excellent angles come out of him. Not only put as much damage as possible, but also able to stay alive.
Oh,
Ace coming for the reach out, with Snipe Drone saying, you know what? I'm just going to stay alive.
Ace managed to get the shields back. Fantastic movement from Ace, using the pillar effectively as well, just to go on a little merry jig away from Snipe Drone. But Seeker will say, look, if you want this ball off the map, you're going to have to work for it, as those extra seconds still acquired by Acend. Really impressed with their objective work, but they've still got to get a little bit further to win this one.
Ace taking a little bit of team damage there, but Tusk able to get the double kill, putting Acend once again 3 down. Space Station Gamer really starting to run away with the setup here. The question is, can they lock it in? I want to see 1, maybe 2 rounds of slays, but Shady coming in for the flank. Excellent grenade coming out of Shady. Meanwhile, Sicker coming in for the cleanup kill on the side, and that ball's going to be forced off the map, and that's going to be a squad wipe. 4 down for SSG.
And this is going to allow Acend now to move that ball towards tower, get that desirable setup that we speak about. Legend will go back tower. Just got to be careful and aware of those nades. Unfortunately, the first kill goes in favor of Desighting. Now it's a 3v3 thanks to Snipe Drone getting one of his own, but it looks like Acend are more than happy to play these small setups, play the ball, keep Space Station on their toes, and just slowly but surely scrap their way to those 100 points.
And they add up. They add. I love seeing a great setup with multiple rounds of slays, but you know what? The scrappy time, like you said, it adds up, and sometimes it can be the determining factor of whether you're winning or simply not. 81 to 51 lead going in favor of the boys in red at the moment, but the setup now being in favor of SSG. They're holding down tower side. Meanwhile, Tusk doing an excellent job of holding down top mid, but Tylenol going to be the first player to fall. Yeah,
Acend getting that first pick means they can push in, but unfortunately, Seeker was on his own to face Tusk, but still numbers are on the side of Acend. Make that a 3 versus 1 now at this point. Ace is going to be the last remaining player. It does get a little bit of damage, but Snipe Drone will be there to wipe. And now with Space Station losing 1, if Acend can get a couple more here, they might be able to pick up that extra scrappy bit of ball time. But they've got to be careful. They can't afford to give one more strong setup to Space Station. Otherwise, this could be the series going in favor of the boys in blue.
Again, SSG are 1 round away from winning this series right here, right now. Acend need to make a run right now. And first of all, need to get the ball out of their hands. Tusk actually pinging enemies. I love to see that feature there. Tylenol going right in for the challenge on Legend. That's actually going to be 2 down right off the rip for Acend. No way you're going to break a setup if you can't stay alive.
They've got to wait. Acend have to wait. 2 players need to make sure they push together. All 4 of them have to swarm and try and take down this ball. 93 ticking over to 95. It has to be now, surely, as Space Station will hold on. 1 player's gone, but it doesn't matter that 1 player is gone. Space Station will hold on. Space Station 3-0 Acend, and that is going to have just crazy permutations in what actually happens in this series.
Yeah, I'm not sure